So you guys, this week I had one of those head to heart moments where, it just goes from like basic knowledge, okay, I know this, to, oh, it's sunk in. Oh, I get it. I understand. So I'm going to read two verses to you out of Romans 12, verses 1 and 2, just to elaborate more on what I'm talking about. It says, "And so, dear brothers and sisters, I plead with you to give your bodies to God because of all he has done for you. Let them be a living and holy sacrifice, the kind he will find acceptable. This is truly the way to worship him. Don't copy the behavior and customs of this world, but let God transform you into a new person by changing the way you think. Then you will learn to know God's will for you, which is good and pleasing and perfect." Okay, that was, a little mouthful. But let me tell you why I got so excited about that. Over the past few days, I had just randomly kept hearing things on like the power of your mind, the power of what you think, what you focus on. Even going back to Philippians, like think of these good thoughts, which is pure, lovely, admirable, worthy of praise, things like that. So I know that, and even in my moments where I'm studying the word or I'm like praying, it's like I know that. But I was looking at this video on YouTube randomly, just looking, and something this guy said really stuck with me, or why this scripture is so important. Because sometimes we think, okay, I didn't spend time with God this week, it's whatever. I didn't read my word this week, it's whatever. It's in here, but I read the week before, and so it's like, it's in me, it's cool. And this guy was saying, think about your mind as a garden. If you plant something in it, it's gonna grow, right? So if you plant, some carrot seeds or whatever, it's gonna grow some carrots. And sometimes we think, okay, if I plant nothing, then nothing's gonna grow. It's fine. But he said, and that's where we get tripped up, because if you're thinking about your mind as a garden, you don't necessarily have to plant anything for something to still happen. He said, think about weeds. You don't plant those weeds, but you didn't do anything to cause them to grow, but they still grew. And when you're not tending to your garden, when you're quote unquote inactive about what's happening, what's being fed into you, what's going into your mind, weeds grow. And then you have to backtrack and be like, okay, let me get these things out. How did I get to this space of being so sad? I was so happy today. How did I get to this space of feeling like a failure when I'm usually always able to complete this task? Why am I so focused on what they're thinking about me when I've always been able to be so confident? Like, what's going on? But we're not mindful about what is literally being placed in our mind. What are we thinking? And so not even going on the legalistic side of, I can't listen to any type of music that's not Christian. I can't blah, blah. Listen, I am not on that tip, and I do believe there are songs, even if it doesn't explicitly say like "I love you, God," that is still a space of worship, but that is a whole nother conversation. But like I'm saying, what you place into your mind, what you see, what comes in through your eye gates, through your ear gates, really does matter. And like how you train your mind to think, because you have to think about your brain as like, a muscle. Like when you're reading, it's exercising what you know. Like we are creatures of habit. So the more things that we focus on, the more things that we think about ourselves, this will be a daily thing where it just like comes to you. It comes to you. So it was just a great time I had this week when I was like, man, all of it really matters. Like even when I joke around sometime and be like, oh my gosh, I'm so trash, blah, 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 blah. I was like, I was feeling convicted over little statements I would speak over myself. And I was thinking, no, like, wait, what does God say about me? What do I need to constantly be saying to renew my mind? And this can be done every day. It should be done every day. And, if you're like, whatever, I'm still not really interested, I don't really have time for that, don't be surprised when you have to go back and be like, where did these weeds come from? Like, what would happen? But yeah, that's all I had to say on this Thursday. Hopefully all of this, was valuable to you. I'm still excited. I'm still learning about this whole concept. And yeah, so I hope you have a great Thursday, and a thoughtful one at that.